There is no dark, no light. There is only power. How you guys doing, man? I'm Tyrus the Warlock. Unfortunately, man, really sorry couldn't get to you guys yesterday. And really sorry about last week. Had router issues, guys. The router just straight up died. I don't even know what happened. It just straight up went away. So I had to get that fixed. Trying out this new wireless mic. By the way, man, I hate, guys. I really hate being like stationary. Like I like being able to move around and all these sort of things. And so like with the typical podcast mics, man, I mean they're cool and all, but if I'm doing like some narration or things like that, then it's really cool. But like when I'm moving around, you guys know I'm like active and everything like that. So like I like moving around. And so the wireless mic, this DJI Mic 3, I just got, man, it's really good. But if you guys could let me know how the quality sounds. That way I can adjust it and things like that. But yeah, guys, so we got some stuff we could get into. Um Update, man. This Monday I just took my daughter to her first school visit, man, University of Cincinnati. You know what I mean? It was a cool 4-hour drive. She really loved it. That's like top school she wants to go to. It's a really, guys, this is a really nice campus. They have a lot of cool a lot of good programs, a lot of cool programs, things like that. But it was just as a dad, man, that was an experience. It was a fun experience, man. You know, it was fun. The road trip there, you know, again, take us 4 hours to get there. You know, just seeing the excitement on her face, you know what I mean? She's just happy. And hey, we're not getting the typical teenager shit right now where, you know, she's embarrassed to be seen with her parents and that kind of stuff. Like she was just happy to be there, man. It was cool seeing the smile on her face, seeing her excited about the future, you know what I mean? Like it was cool, man. And it was much needed for the psyche, you know what I mean? Like it was cool. My wife and I went at Malia State. She went to school anyway. But yeah, so our oldest, we got the first school knocked out. We'll get a few more in, hopefully in the summertime, everything like that. Going into the fall. But yeah, that was big. So shout out to all you parents, man. You guys either got people who graduated or kids that's graduated, gonna graduate soon, just started school, they in the middle of grade school, whatever it is, man. Shout out to all you parents out there whose kid made it through another school year. And Godspeed for the summertime, folks, because I know it's expensive out here. Good God. All right. Oh yeah. So we got a lot to get into. First and foremost, I don't know how many NASCAR fans we got. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch, two-time NASCAR Cup champion. He passed away at 41 today. Nobody really knows what's going on. I haven't seen much updates. I'm gonna keep it there, but rest in peace, man. 41, 40 young is way too young, man. Um, Guys, Thomas Massey got bounced out of his own primary. Did y'all see that shit? Not only that senator from Louisiana, Cassidy, got booted out from the GOP primary, but now Thomas Massey of Kentucky lost his primary to a Trump loyalist, to this APAC funded person. Guys, $50 million they dumped into a primary race. Not even the actual general election, guys, just the primary. That's insane. And that shouldn't be allowed. That's absolutely ridiculous. That we even that's even a something we should say, and that's not followed up with they're facing criminal charges. No, it's yeah, they spent tens of millions of dollars on the primary, and that is all we got. The DOJ opened up a slush fund. I mean, it's not a slush fund, anti-weaponization fund. Like this IRS settlement to pay back Trump and his allies who were investigated under the Biden administration and, you know, treated unfairly. It's this some bullshit, man. Guys, the dude's actively just going into our treasury and robbing us blind. Like straight up, guys, that's what he's doing. He's just robbing us blind. And so, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm going to dress up as a warlock on this panel now because we got a fucking clown in the Oval Office. So everything's all good, guys. You know what I mean? That's how we rolling now. I believe, in other news, we are now 2 or 3 weeks into the deadline that Trump gave Iran before he was supposed to rain total destruction on the enemy he claimed was defeated about 9 weeks ago. Yeah, so he's walked back. And again, guys, you know me. We should have withdrawn. We shouldn't be in this war. We shouldn't be doing none of this shit. What's also true is that if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it. Every week we repeat that, right? Whatever you do, don't half-ass it. And unfortunately, Trump continues to half-ass it. Guys, nobody takes him seriously anymore. Like, how many times is he going to threaten Iran with a war that was already started, with destruction he claimed he already levied against Iran, in order to stop a program he claimed he already destroyed the summertime of last year? Like, come on, guys. This is ridiculous, man. The Iranians don't respect him. The Middle Eastern allies don't respect him. Clearly, Israel doesn't respect him. Guys, our own allies in Europe, Australia, everywhere overseas don't respect him. We are really just we're really at a low point in our country. I am not gonna say it's the lowest, but boy, we're getting there. Hey, shout out to 100 Watt, man. Hey, good seeing you tonight, man. Thanks for rocking with us. I'm going to try to be nice to conservatives today. I'm not going to be too hard on you guys because I'm starting to see it appears that some of you guys are waking up to the fact that we got easily the most corrupt president in our nation's history. We got crypto rug pulls. We got, by the way, the obvious threats, guys. Y'all know this, right? Like when he's walking, one of the reasons too, he's constantly walking back the threats and making them is market manipulation, insider trading. Look how much money him and his boys have made off of the insider trading on the stock market or like poly market, the betting shit. Like it, guys, it is disgusting how open. It's not only disgusting what they're doing, it's disgusting about how open they are of doing it because they know all we can do is come up here on social media and be mad. Because are we really going to do anything to stop this shit from happening? Probably not, right? He doesn't even guys, he doesn't even try to hide it anymore. The ballroom, the 250-foot monument, the ark he wants built in DC, right? That the drawings recently got approved by somebody. I don't know, but guys, why do we need a golden ark, whatever, in DC? Who asked for that? Except him. You know what I mean? This is crazy. The The Qatari plane, I can't get over that because that's just a that's just an OPSEC OPSEC violation waiting to happen, bro. Like it's just spot. You all know there's all kind of crap up in there. I don't care how much they claim they clear it out. Like, nah. And then, yeah, the slush fund, they're just open with the robbery. The country is again at war in the Middle East. Inflation is skyrocketing. AI is causing massive volatility in the labor market. We are still, by the way, in a global trade war that Trump started last year, and American people are more divided than ever. So, what do we have to look forward to, audience? Well, we have to look forward to, on the 250th anniversary of our beautiful country, we are going to celebrate it with UFC Freedom 250, an MMA event in the South Lawn of the White House. Everything's going on and going into our 250 year, and that's how we're going to celebrate 250 years of history with a bunch of dudes just punching each other in the fucking face. Yeah, that's pretty American. Yeah, that's on brand. That makes sense. That's how fucking brain dead we are as a country right now as a collective. Because guess what? They're going to get that UFC event off, and half the country's going to watch, and half the country's going to complain. But all we're going to do is just be mad because we're just sitting by, and we just going to let this shit happen. Like our president got dog walked overseas. He literally, like, guys, we got a president who only knows he can't even punch straight. He punches down, never punches up. And by the way, Putin, let's be clear, that's your inferior, bro. Should be anyway. Xi Jinping, that's your inferior, man. It should be anyway. At best, those are your equals because they're world leaders and world leaders of superpowers. But for whatever reason, you go to China, man, and you just show up like a punk. Like, really, got like, guys, conservatives, really, this is a sign of leadership from Trump. This is the sign of what masculinity is. I haven't heard one fucking thing from our Republican president, his administration, or the Republican controlled Congress about anything they have planned that actually benefits the American people. Let's see. Eduardo, good seeing you, bro. You're garbage. You're trash too, bro. Nice. Thanks for being here, bro. Thanks for the view. Uh, yeah, they're all too happy being intentional about them not giving a shit about the American people. The Republican controlled Congress guy does not care. They are so disinterested in doing anything. And on top of that, unfortunately, guys, they know that if you say anything about their agenda, well, unfortunately, there's still too many conservatives willing to, again, run interference for them under the guise of owning the libs. Right? We got too many eyes on what our government is and isn't doing right now. So, guys, have y'all noticed the pattern? Hey, those Muslims are a real problem again, right? The 13%. Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore. Oh man, black men are at it again. I'm tired of all these immigrants taking opportunities away from our children. The LBGT agenda is the reason we're going to shit as a country. This is what happens when we as a nation turn away from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Feminism. Oh my God, these female lead actors in Hollywood are ruining movies. Is masculinity under attack? Is the right woman for you someone who is borderline jailbait in a non-Western impoverished country, just waiting for you to find? It's just clockwork how they get y'all distracted from the real fucking issues and throw all this fucking this social identity crisis crap at you, and y'all eat it up. We have got to wake up as a country. They keep repeating the same playbook. And guys, here's your football analogy. If I'm running the football and the defense can't stop me from running the ball, why would I stop? The American people, we don't make them try to run any other plays. They keep running the same tired ass plays over and over and over again, and it keeps working over and over and over again. Lunatic Libertarian, good seeing you, bro. All centralized systems are failed and failed security. Not all. This one here right now is certainly a failed one, though. Heath Shellhammer, good seeing you, man. Roman culture must have an enemy. It creates the need for a savior. Yo, I agree. I would really like to have that philosophical discussion about so much of the correlation of the Roman Empire's decline and our decline. Right? There seems, again, I'm not the most educated on it, but it does apparently, he seems to be some overlap, at least when it comes to the savior thing you talk about. So that was good. Lunatic again, identity politics have run wild. Labels, titles, and categories don't mean anything. You know what's crazy is that we as countrymen, as a nation, we should be having these arguments. They should have nothing to do with how we fucking vote. You know what I mean? Lunatic, like, bro, I'm not going to vote against healthcare because I don't like trans people. Like, this is stupid. Like, we keep voting against things that investments into ourselves because we're so busy trying to make our fellow Americans our enemy. And yeah, man. So let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and we're gonna get into it, Lunatic, about centralized the centralized education, healthcare, food supply, monetary control. They all failed. Yep. And guess what? Unfortunately, Lunatic, what we're getting in today is the fact that I know they don't technically operate like a communist country typically would, like a North Korea, but the so-called socialist, Marxist, communist China right now, they systems ain't failing. Let's check this out.
On your screen of Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin showing a united front this morning. The two major U.S. adversaries underscore their close ties by signing a number of business deals. Now, remember, this visit comes just days after President Trump left Beijing for a state visit. In fact, here's that visit with Trump and today's visit with Putin playing out in split screens, nearly identical. CBS News foreign correspondent Holly Williams has more on that visit.
The thing that everyone was looking for at the meeting between Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping was progress on the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline. Now, when it's built, it will transport up to 50 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Russia to China annually. But it's been held up by disagreements. A Kremlin spokesman said that some nuances remain to be ironed out, but an understanding already exists. Now, for context, China has made a big bet on Russian oil and gas in recent years. Russia now supplies around around 20% of China's crude oil. And there's already the Power of Siberia 1 pipeline, which can transport around 38 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually. Despite that, and despite the fact that China has the world's biggest stockpile of crude oil, China is far from immune to what is happening in the Strait of Hormuz. As you know, after the US initiated a war against Iran, the Iranians were able to paralyze commercial shipping, including oil shipping, through that narrow strait, sending gas prices soaring. Now, China normally gets around 45% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz, so much more than it gets from Russia. And it is a critical vulnerability for China, as it is for a lot of other countries. So it's not surprising then that in the joint statement that we had today from Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping following their meeting, they referenced, quote, treacherous military strikes against other countries, amongst other things. That is seemingly a criticism of the US and its actions in Iran, which have also impacted China's economy.
Yeah, guys. So a week ago, Trump flew to China for a summit with Xi Jinping, and it was clear who was in charge. Okay. Trump was directly warned about his handling or future handling of Taiwan, and actually made him rethink on the flight back about the future arms deal that was already, by the way, getting passed through Congress and just needed his final approval. There's arms sales to Taiwan so that they could defend themselves against a future Chinese invasion. So we've had years of policy of, we're going to defend China. We support China's independence. And now Trump goes over there and just starts licking boots. I hope some of you guys saw some of the footage. The way Xi Jinping, now obviously, guys, China and Russia are allies, right? But it's very clear who has the momentum, and as far as the global politics go. It is clear that right now China has all the momentum, and right now Russia's not losing any of theirs. Oil prices continue to go up, guys, and we got a problem. And then here's the other thing with Trump. Guys, this really bothered me. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Now, meanwhile, the president is touting his recent summit with China's Xi Jinping as a win for the American economy. And the cornerstone is a new farm deal worth.
Oh, wait, hold up. We got a super chat. Lunatic with the $10. Thanks a lot, bro. We had planned obsolescence. Sorry, man. I suck. Chemicals called food. Yep. Education equals information regurgitation. How come I can pronounce that word but not the other one? Not life skills passed generationally. Competition, not cooperation, is pushed through crony capitalism. 100%. 100%. And by the way, it's crap like this, libertarian. Check this out, audience. Check this out. Gonna go to what you just posted.
With tens of billions of dollars. However, it's also digging up
Thanks for the
national
support,
security
big dog.
concerns because that deal fails to stop China from buying American farmland, which of course was one of the president's key campaign promises. News Nation national correspondent Xavier Walton has more. Xavier, the administration and Republicans are trying to win over farmers. They see the deal as a win. Explain that.
Marky, good morning. So the Trump administration believes this trade deal is going to essentially help farmers sell more, giving them some much needed relief as the cost of maintenance, basically to keep the farms on. Those costs continue to skyrocket. They continue to go up. The White House says that China is going to buy at least $17 billion in U.S. agricultural products each year, starting now and then running through 2028. And that's on top of earlier soybean purchase commitments. The White House believes, that's a win for farms who saw a major hit to their exports last year when the U.S. and China were locked.
before we let this video continue, look at that chart. Look at that chart. Y'all see how much they was our farmers was eating when Biden was president? 2022. Y'all see how much our farmers was eating when Biden was president. And now look at those numbers for 2025. And y'all know 2026 is gonna be worse.
Locked in a trade war, but the president, he raised eyebrows when he defended Chinese nationals buying U.S. farmland. He told Fox News that blocking some purchases could actually hurt farm values.
Look, it's not that I love it. You want to see farm prices drop? You want to see farmers lose a lot of money? Just take that out of the market. But they've had a lot of land for a long time.
So the national security argument has.
So if you guys, boy, that interview he did with Hannity was eye-opening, guys. Real quick, China had also pledged a few months ago during this ongoing global trade war that we're losing to purchase more soybeans. They haven't. They still continue getting the vast majority of their soybeans from people that we also bail out, like Argentina. And it's only getting worse, guys. So did you hear what he said about the Chinese farms? Now look, I am not up to par. I have this idea again that overall I lean toward let's not allow it when it comes to foreign investors buying up property. For sure, real estate, like residential real estate, like single family homes, condos, those apartments, those sort of things. I'm absolutely no, right? No foreign investors. You want to, I believe housing should be primary residence, right? And yeah, your second, third vacation homes, yeah, they need to be taxed or whatever. As far as business, commercial property, look, guys, I am not in that lane. So I only go based off of what, I see on the news, what the farmers are saying. Shout out to Lunatic Libertarian. I'm gonna show you guys comments in a bit. But we was talking a few weeks ago about, right, supply and demand, things like that. So I'm not up to speed so much with, or I'm not going to say I'm totally against foreign investing, but right now, the way the current state on the country is, it should absolutely be suspended or highly restricted. You know what I mean? But right now, Trump said, no, we going to let them keep, and we're going to let them keep buying it too. Right? So now we got a problem where the Chinese, and again, guys, when we say the Chinese, we're talking about the government. Chinese people, we're cool with you. We ain't got no beef. This is obviously geopolitics. So when I say Chinese and Americans, I really mean like government. So the Chinese are sending people over to buy up farmland. And so I wonder, is it really, why would they buy up the soybeans when they can just buy the soybean farm itself? They know they going under. Like, let's be clear, guys. The bankruptcies from the farmers is only going up. That's continue to go up. So then why would they buy the individual beans when they can just wait out and buy the actual farm itself on the cheap and have the soybean products anyway? Guys, ain't that what our vice president is doing? I mean, why wouldn't the Chinese do that? Our own Americans are doing that to us. I want y'all to understand that. Our own Americans are doing that to us. Let's hit the comments before we, let's see. I think the China visit was about the capitalists that went with him. Yes. Heath, oh my God. You know what? I don't even want to forget, because I brought this video up too, man. This crap is insane, dog. I had mentioned that last week. I was like, why is Elon Musk going to China with our government on a diplomatic mission? Right? And so, guys, check this out. Wow.
As President Trump met with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping, one thing that struck me were the CEOs that popped up in the background. People like Elon Musk of Tesla, Tim Cook of Apple, and Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. More than 24 CEOs ended up accompanying Trump on his first trip to China in nearly a decade. Trump wanted to impress Xi with the size of the business delegation that came with him.
They're here today to pay respects to you and to China.
These CEOs were here because they all have important business interests in China. Apple makes most of its iPhones in China, Tesla has its largest factory in Shanghai, and NVIDIA stands to earn billions of dollars in profits if U.S. technology restrictions on the country were lifted. Some seemed upbeat after their first meeting.
Meetings were excellent.
Elon Musk, who went viral this week for some of his antics, answered many good things when asked what was accomplished. But the presence of these CEOs was somewhat controversial. Some officials now believe the United States should not rely too much on China economically because it could cut off supplies of products in the event of a conflict. There are also concerns about supplying China with certain advanced technology like AI chips that could help to develop it militarily.
It's advanced computer chips like the H100s that Jetson has. Did that come up at all with?
It did come up, and I think something could happen on that.
No details have yet been announced on what they have agreed to on technology. And despite the positive vibes from the summit this week, what these CEOs got out of their trip to China isn't exactly clear.
Yeah, guys, the lizard people or masters of the universe or however it is you want to describe them all went with Donald Trump. Now, let's be clear. We know why, right? All they shit is made over there. The factories, all that, all of the logistics, all of the supply side shit is ran through China, right? But we know it's a lot more than that, because what sort of crap was they scheming up that's gonna screw us over, right? NVIDIA guys, if you're into any of the computer tech, boy, they done pissed a lot of people off. They're the main reason why a lot of the consumer like the PC parts, like the memory, the SSD drives, everything done skyrocketed. It's a lot due to NVIDIA and all of them. Let's see, he said capitalism is working perfectly. Well, yeah, everything is intentional, right? It is working as intended for the people that designed the system. You know what I mean? Wanting jungle capitalism in this environment is insane. Maybe if we all started at zero, the pyramid scheme is just trapped. Well, we became top heavy, right? We decided that you didn't have some sort of obligation to your community as a corporation. It was just get money and nothing else mattered, right? I mean, let's be clear. The economy is going to crash. Conservatives, respectfully, how many of you are going to say, well, we should cut the elite's taxes more? That's going to solve the problem. You know, you guys are going to, somebody's going to say it. As if somehow they taxes ain't lowered enough. They haven't been deregulated enough. Right? Like we got to get our Americans, fellow Americans, we got to get out of that, man. You know what I mean? W4D, that's very short-sighted, bro. What's short-sighted? Thanks for rocking out with us, bro. Gypsy, Gypsy Mom 1, shout out to you. At least we no longer have Jerome Powell, awful player. Did Jerome Powell leave yet? I don't think he left yet. Yeah, he's gonna step aside at the end of his term, but he's still there. You know what I mean? And Gypsy Mom, who appointed Jerome Powell to the chair in the first place. You know who. Don't sell to the Chinese. Look, guys, this idea that we can disconnect ourselves from the Chinese is, guys, that ship has sailed. I need my fellow Americans to understand that ship has sailed. We have gone far too many decades with our pro-growth, pro-capitalist businessmen selling this country out and going overseas chasing profit. We have gone through way too many decades of that happening for that to be reversed right now. Now we got to find a way to compete with them guys, because again, if we do this crap with like military, like try to threaten them with military, we just look like villains. Because again, it was supposed to be, we're the capitalists, we're the ones who knows how to make money and break bread and cut deals, and yet the communists are the ones, the so-called communists are the ones whooping our ass when it comes to making deals. Hell, they're making deals with our allies because our allies can't trust our fucking word. Right? Like, who knows when Trump is going to just make some shit up or decide, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Meanwhile, I hate saying this about the competition, about the adversary, but damn, man, like these countries know if Xi Jinping says something, they're going to honor their fucking word. And it's crazy because we as men who always talk about honoring our word keep giving fucking defense to a guy who refuses to honor his word in Trump. This man is notorious for not paying anybody, stealing from foundations, stealing from veterans, stealing from contractors. We talk all this shit about what real men are and our word and this code and all this other shit. Is Trump a representation of that code we talk about? Is Trump really the representation of what it means to be an honorable man? Elon Musk is a glorified welfare queen, almost 180 billion in subsidies. $180 billion, lunatic. That's crazy. Hold up. W4D, that's funny when you don't support the tariffs. Bro, a lot of people supported targeted tariffs. Tariffs that, again, like when Biden kept the tariffs on and he kept targeted tariffs for like the CHIPS Act and the Infrastructure Act, all these other things, and we actually had manufacturing growth in this country, it's because you target the tariffs, right, with a plan to bring that industry back to your soil. W4D, Trump started the tariff war and none of the factories are coming back. Did you not just watch the fucking video? All of the people that had the factories went to China with Trump because their factories are over there. And they're not bringing them back, W4D. What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, y'all. Hey, man. Dog. Trump is trying to help the country. Yeah, with the crypto rug pulls. Yeah, with the Qatari plane. With the poly market bets. With Don Jr., his son. Oh, y'all cared all about Hunter Biden and all this shit. Don Jr. owns a fucking drone company that is currently providing our government drones to go with the illegal war in Iran right now. And you know what you fucking conservatives have been saying? I know I was going to be careful on you guys, but damn, you done started up in the chat. You know what you conservatives are saying about that? Absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear it, guys. I really don't want to hit it. Mandrell, what's good? Good seeing you, man. Hey, I'm gonna drop the. I really forgot, guys. I gotta drop the link for all you guys. Anybody want to come up, even if you want to argue with me back and forth, it's cool. My bad for not dropping the link though earlier. Ooh, yo, why did it repeat? Oh, that. Okay. W4D. See, this is why I'm here, W. This is why I'm here, bro, to keep you guys posted on all the shit going on. See, I gotta be charitable because again, y'all know me, combat vet, 100%. So I got plenty of time to pay attention to the most stringiest shit imaginable. That's what I'm here for, because you guys are out there actually doing your thing, and you come here at night to hear me try to put it all together. W4D. The Supreme Court ruled that the tariffs were unconstitutional, right? And Trump was supposed to start refunding it back. He not only didn't follow that ruling, he doubled down and tapped on another 15%. Your man doesn't care. Y'all remember not even years ago, y'all were the party of rule, law and order, the rule of law, right? No man is above the law. Wonder what happened with that. SpaceX, he's recorded approximately 126 million in direct federal grants, loans, local tax breaks. You know what's crazy, lunatic? The SpaceX specifically, I ain't got a problem with. They doing some real cool shit. They doing some real cool shit. It's all the other crap. Again, we gotta hate to be the nuance guy, but you know what? Overall, the shit that Elon's involved with doesn't negate, or it doesn't get erased just because of the good he's doing with SpaceX. And I gotta walk that back too, because sometimes that nuanced position, bro, it unfortunately just provides cover for them clowns. You know what I mean? And I gotta work on that. We're past that shit. AW4D, you know who ain't past that shit? Trump. He ain't past it. Trump don't speak French, so what's his we? Go talk to the big guy. He ain't past that shit, W4D. Mandrell, how is he trying to help the country when he's literally stealing from it? Yep. Yeah, man. Hey. With some people, look, Mandrell, there's more and more. Look, there's conservatives who are they're waking up. They're jumping off the train. Right? They're jumping up, they're jumping ship. Good. But there's some who are going to go down with the ship no matter what. They're going to go down with the ship despite the fact that the captain of the ship isn't going to go down with it. As you know, Mandrell, he's also going to fucking bail. But yeah, literally stealing from it, man. That's what it is. With some people, you can literally piss on their head and tell them it's raining. They'll believe you. They'll absolutely believe you. Craig Bernhardt, shout out to you, bro. Yep, he had the FAA put DJI drones on ban list. Yep. Trying to control the market. Like I said, Don Jr. guys with the drone company, all that nonsense. Anton's in the building. What's good? W4D, I know that's what I said it. You got it twisted, bro. I ain't got it twisted, dog. You just keep making up shit for Trump. And I'm telling you, like, this dude don't care about you, bro. He don't care about none of us. Like, I don't know how much more evidence you need that this dude don't give a shit about you. What's next? 34 counts or Epstein? You know what's crazy, W4D? I wonder. I can only imagine that you was agreeing with Trump when he said during the campaign he was going to release them files. Now let me guess. Everybody now you believe Trump when he says everybody's still on that Epstein shit. They're idiots. They're losers. They're not really MAGA. Just turn on the dime. Guys, you guys are like coming with a lot of pause. You guys are coming with a lot of comments. Hope I can get to everybody. Private Snowball 67. Trump is a dirty Jew along with the Republicans and Democrats that continue to destroy the nation. First and foremost, let's be very clear here. We are going to keep the dirty Jays or dirty Christians or dirty Muslims. We ain't doing none of that. Right? If y'all want to criticize, and I tell y'all all the time, what we do up here is we criticize the Israeli government because that's our God-given right to criticize any fucking government. There's nothing anti-anything about criticizing government. That's just pro-America, right? Guys, his Jewish ties with, or like as the faith, ain't got nothing to do with his corruption, because we see corruption out of all forms right now. Right now, this is the Israeli government and his freaking schemes and all this other nonsense going on, man. W4D, note MAGA is stronger than ever. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie, bro. Y'all at like, I know we say it loosely, or metaphorically speaking, but you guys in a civil war right now. But I told you that before, W4D. You conservatives don't even like each other. That's the truth. You guys got problems with everybody, and now you got problems with yourselves because you guys don't like anybody. You can't get along with anybody. Trump Bunny 2024, thanks for showing up. We're blocking y'all. We're not dwindling. You just got back to your echo chamber. Bro. Or Trump Bunny, ma'am, this can't be an echo chamber, not over here. You guys, I think I got more conservatives up in the chat than liberals. I'll be coming with the smoke all the time. You know what I mean? But Trump is the one who only does the interviews on Fox News and things like that. Some of you conservatives are the ones who got to stay in your safe spaces, acting like some snowflakes. Trump Bunny, man, like, oof. I don't know. Trump ran to stay out of jail and foreign governments helped him in the shadows. Agreed. Straight to the point. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's a bunch of other reasons, but it's just a question of how many governments, right? And what was all the reasons? Don't you know what happened yesterday? The historic 37 primaries, all Trumpers. Yeah, I covered. I was talking about that earlier. W4D. The senator, the U.S. Republican senator from Louisiana, Cassidy. I forgot his first name, but Cassidy just lost his Republican primary to a Trump loyalist. Thomas Massey just lost his primary to a Trump loyalist. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man. Loyalty to the person over country, man. That's a real good sign. Liberty Twitcher, shout out to you. Thanks for joining us. And we're supposed to believe that Democrats care about us. Yes, they care a lot more than the Republicans do. And I want to be clear here, as a Democratic voter and who trashes the Democratic Party because they piss me off with a lot of their little flakeness. And they just, sometimes the whole kumbaya shit, man, like yo, stand on business. Sometimes you just got to stand on what the fuck you believe in, man. You can't be pleasing and compromising with everybody. But yes, the Democrats care a lot more because they support things like universal health care and rebuilding our bridges and roads and, education for our children. Yeah, I'd say they care a hell of a lot more than the Republicans, Liberty Twitcher. That is like not even a question. Trump Bunny, he don't give a fuck about it because you run your mouth. Facts. Yeah, man, I'm gonna continue running it. MAGA, W4D, MAGA was asking for the files, MAGA was asking for the file 5 years ago. 5 years ago was 2021. Just so happened to be when Biden took office. And now all of a sudden you guys claimed you was asking for the files then. Why weren't you asking for the files in 2019 when Epstein was arrested and died under the Trump administration? He had a whole year and a half before Biden took office with all the information and all the files. Perhaps he took some of that with him to Mar-a-Lago, along with the other classified documents he got caught having. Mandrell, not only is he not trying to hide it, he's literally telling people he's doing it. He even explains it how. Yeah, again, just blatant with it, just out in the open. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, man, I keep scrolling. Let's see. You guys are covered with it. All these supposed movements of change are smoke screens and control. Yep. But you know what? We got to call it out when we see it. Unfortunately, man, like too many people want to bury their head in sand, but it's our job. No matter what political spectrum you fall under, it is our job inherently as Americans to keep our foot up government's ass, or we get things like this. Right? Gene, thanks for rocking with us. Trump is my presidentus. Yeah, unfortunately, he's my president right now, too, and I'm really embarrassed. Private Snowball, 109 nations, 109 expulsions. It's not a coincidence they have been expelled so many times for crimes of coin clipping, poisoning well during crisis, usury, and millions of deaths. Private, you got to be... I like trying to have this nuance thing. Sometimes, bro, you got to be careful with... Now you're getting into the identity combined with, again, like geopolitical or like legislation, and those are separate, because a lot of those things, man, again, I don't agree with that, I don't believe that, but those are just examples of a lot of stereotypes they have for any sort of marginalized groups in any country. Like, look at how they talk about Indian people that are migrating to other countries, or hell, look how they talk about some Eastern European people when they migrate to other countries, like how British people talk about Polish people, for example. You know what I mean? But just because like you got your opinions on how they might act on a day-to-day, like again, should that keep you from voting against universal health care? Should that keep you from voting against our infrastructure being maintained? Not really. W4D, he wanted to focus on important shit. He knew nothing would come of the files. MAGA was over the files 5 years ago. No, y'all weren't. Yo, now you just up here lying, bro. No, y'all weren't. Man, stop. The lunatic libertarian again, Thomas Massey election defeat should show how our systems are broken and put 38 million to that race. Yeah, lunatic. I thought it was 50. When I looked, I thought it was 50. Yeah, in a primary, man. Not even the actual like midterm general election, bro. The freaking primary, dog. Like, this is insane. Anton, Cheeto Jesus, MAGA acolytes are starting to get frustrated with everything going on. Yep, exactly, man. I see them. And Anton, you know us in the military, bro. Shout out to you white conservative guys. That's basically the vast majority of y'all in the military. Love you guys. Still miss you guys. I wish you guys would come back to reality, please, because Trump is not it. But yes, Anton, a lot of these dudes, a lot of these guys are realizing, yo, this ain't the capitalism we was sold. You know what I mean? But let's be clear. This capitalism is absolutely designed intentionally to work like this. Make no mistake about it. This version of capitalism. I'm not saying capitalism can't work. For a long time, it seemed like it did. I'm just saying the version we got going on right now, guys, ain't it. Late stage capitalism of our American version ain't fucking it. That shit gotta go. Trump was behind Massey being Diane, shout out to you. Trump was behind Massey being defeated. Fact, absolutely. There was this other like billionaire donor, some lady that I guess is like Israeli first. She's got like a dual let me look that up real quick. Dual citizen billionaire donor. Yeah, Miriam Edelson. Oh, she's all over the place. Swaggy, McNolegs. No, they don't. Dems suck just as much. The Dems don't suck as much. Again, they got problems, but the Republican Party is clearly worse. That being said, if a viable third option comes around, I'd love it, but it can't just be a bunch of fucking fence riders, bro. I ain't gonna do no riding the fence all the time. I need a legitimate parties to rise up for me to give up on the Dems, because I'm not gonna vote for the Republicans. They absolutely hate my ass. Lunatic Fetterman didn't vote to stop the war in Iran because that dude's a plant. That dude is, I think he's worse than like Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin or Virginia. Like he ended up being way worse than them dudes. John Deere laughing at W4D. Shout out to you, John. Finkelberry reimbursing J6ers is blatant corruption. They killed the cop. Finkel, they not even, I think they're trying to talk about putting the J6 guys in there, but they're not even talking about them. They're talking about the actual suits and some of the like the Russian hoax people and all that other shit, man. And yeah, they trying to get the J6, but that is just for like, you know, the elite class, the little slush fund. Payne, is Trump a pedophile? He is innocent until proven guilty. The evidence suggests that he not only knew about the pedophilia, but probably engaged in it himself. I do know that he is a sexual predator held liable for sexual assault. So whether or not he's a pedophile on top of that remains to be seen. But unfortunately, I don't have much reason to doubt that he isn't. You just passed crappy healthcare plans. We passed healthcare plans that need to be worked on. Your party passes no healthcare plans. Swaggy, there isn't two parties, there's one party. You talk about the uniparty thing. A lot of times, man, it seems like that, especially with geopolitics. I mean, typically though, that's the thing, man. You want your country to kind of be on the same page, or your elected officials to be on the same page when it comes to dealing with, you know, foreign nations and diplomacy and stuff like that. But unfortunately, yeah, it's starting to look like it was a uniparty, at least a lot of that domestically, and that's a no-no. You know what I mean? Let's see, Heath. Obama DOJ started it with arresting Epstein. The Florida division curved it, and Obama played by the law. That's when Trump had to win. He knew the dirt. Yeah. Hey, and Heath, correct me if I'm wrong, man. Wasn't there something Trump? I don't know if George Bush necessarily had anything, but I knew it happened under his administration, Junior. Like, didn't Epstein get arrested in 2006, 2007 as well for some similar shit in Florida? Like, it's just so insane. Like these guys are, oh, y'all lie. W4D, y'all lie. Y'all had your heads up your ass. You knew nothing about Epstein and Pizzagate. You didn't know shit about it either. And guess what, W4D? The guy that went with his rifle to the pizza shop didn't know shit about it either. Right? That's why he shot up the wrong place. That didn't even have a fucking basement. Right? And by the way, oddly enough, yes, there is a global pedophile ring going on. And Trump, the Republican, is covering it up. It's like, it's so crazy that you conservatives were right, but you guys want to be hush hush and quiet or play what about because it was like your team doing it. And I don't want to say it's team like, you know what I mean, but it was your side, the right wing, doing that. A lot of creepy shit, guys. A lot of creepy shit. Oh God, man. Let's see, W4D again. Oh man, hold up. I forgot another super chat, didn't I? Yeah, Lunatic with the $2. Correction. Elon's getting 38 billion in subsidies. Was that the correction from like the 126 you was talking about earlier? Shout out, thanks for the support. Let's see, Private Snowball. If we continue to let these corrupt guys run our government, our nation will slowly disappear. The people will be gone. The nation will be gone. You got to get people to stop believing in shit like trickle down economics first, man. You got to stop. You have to get Americans to first actually accept the idea that we're a melting pot. Private Snowball. Like that's what we actually have to do. Like, there's so many things we as Americans say that we don't actually mean. Right? We like saying we're a melting pot, but then the way we interact with each other is more just like a collection of demographics, of segregated demographics. It's like that's what we actually rather be in real life. We just like saying we're a melting pot for, again, marketing reasons, right? Can you imagine how great it would be if we actually behaved like a melting pot, actually treated each other like we wanted to be around each other? I want to be around you guys. I ain't got no problem with you guys. You know what I mean? But, you know, unfortunately, can't say the same about our fellow Americans. But yeah, that's what it is, man. Heath, Israel has no business in our government. No foreign government should. We could bring this nation to reality in 5 minutes. Ban foreign influence in our medias and news. Absolutely, 1,000%. Heath, we got to overturn Citizens United. We have to put a cap on all donations. We have to put a cap on lobbying. And again, that's what's crazy is being able to lobby the government absolutely is constitutional. You should not be able to put millions of dollars behind said lobbying effort. That should not be legal. Also, Heath, I don't know if you would agree with me on this or not. I think our campaign, like our election season, way too long. Like a season, like it's like reality TV. I think our election season needs to be shortened. Like it's too much crap, man. Swaggy, capitalism beat the shit out of democracy. Yeah, okay. I would vote for those policies, but it does not mean I'm on your side. You know what's crazy? We don't have to be on the side. Like, for example, you ain't got to support gay people. I support gay people because I support my fellow Americans' rights. You don't have to. But guess what? That doesn't mean you should vote against universal health care because you don't support the gays. Right? Just because you don't like women, I'm not saying you, but just in talking about some of these like right wingers, right? You guys got a problem with women and relationships and all of these different things. That's not a reason to support corporate greed, right? Corporate subsidies and bailouts and that kind of shit. Like, what's that got to do with it? Like, we have to do a better job separating what we believe, social issues, identity issues with national government policy, right? Things like our education, things like whether or not we should be upgrading our oil infrastructure. I mean, guys, the gender wars, and for some of you right wingers, modern women is not the reason the oil companies ran by men decided not to build refineries so we could take advantage of our own fucking oil. That's not gay people's fault. That's not the women's fault. That's not some marginalized group's fault. That's the pro-capitalist fault, that we can't take advantage of our own resources we have here. We got to get that through our heads. Right? The lunatic libertarian, I voted NOTA, none of the above, none were qualified. I feel it, man. But hey, you know, sometimes you gotta go. Keep it scrolling, guys. Guys got a lot of comments. Anton, the problem with Democrats, they don't know how to stand on business and have no backbone. The problem with Republicans, they're walking, talking hypocrites. Anton, yes, I swear to God, I wish I can take the I don't give a fuck mentality the Republicans have and pair it with the Democrats when it comes to the issues. Then when the Democrats get in charge, we'd fucking have some real goddamn policies getting passed. But instead, the Republican policies got that real American rebel, I don't give a fuck attitude. But then, of course, they take that to Congress and treat each other that way so nothing gets done. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, like, oh, we just can't. You know what I mean? Twin Hog, you are so spot on with your views. I have a huge problem with the Democratic Party, but supporting this current administration is absolutely fucking insane. Absolutely, man. Right? Like, yo, we don't, guys, this platform, Twin, thanks for rocking with us tonight, by the way. Guys, we do not do echo chambers around here. Y'all have heard me plenty of times absolutely trash the Democratic Party, but that's because I don't have a problem with holding my own side accountable. Right? Just like whoever I can vote for, a Democratic official, guys, a representative, if I can't name the reasons why I'm voting for this person specifically without mentioning the opposition, I got no business voting for said person. Right? You see, I can actually name, again, I'm sure maybe some of y'all can maybe do that with Trump. I actually haven't heard it. But just for example, Twin, I can name the reasons why I voted for Biden without mentioning Trump. Like his reelection. You get what I mean? Like I can name the Infrastructure Act, the fact that we kept our word with Ukraine, the CHIPS Act, rebuilding our roads and bridges, like a lot of those, or the child tax extended credit. Like I can name a bunch of things without mentioning the opposing side. There are way too many people who, if you tell them what has Trump done, the first thing out their mouths is going to be rhinos, Democrats, all this other shit. Basically, it's always someone else's fault. Heath, MAGA slogan, we will break the law, and then when we're held accountable, we'll take the money from taxpayers as compensation. Yep. I don't know the demographics of the people that watch my show right now, but y'all know this is Black Men Unfiltered. And I got to say, man, reading the DOJ talk about mistreatment and unfairness and compensated, I just couldn't help but go, oh, but y'all make up all these excuses of why black people can't get reparations. But Heath, this is reparations, right? It's just called compensation. Or the other R word, they like restitution. Right? This is just dressed up, but that's the shit, right? Once again, all the owners, the wealthy, they get what's owed to them somehow, some way. W4D, you're so naive. Your healthcare plan ruined healthcare and made insurance companies rich. My healthcare used to be great. Now it sucks. Yeah, that's crap, bro. So overall, the ACA actually slowed down the rate in which insurance was rising because it was out of control. The pure private market system we had was completely out of control. And what should have happened was our government is supposed to be working on the ACA over time to make it better, right? You're supposed to adjust, right? Tone it down, bring it up, all these sort of things. Instead, Republicans spent the entire time just trying to get rid of it with no replacement. So all we got is a healthcare system that's now outdated because of our government's inability to keep up with the policy like they're fucking supposed to. right? It's not just pass policies and then forget about it. It's pass policies and then actively manage policies. Guys, this is why, by the way, China is whooping our ass. This is why China's whooping our ass, because they have such a long-term vision for how they approach policies and milestones and different things like that. But we as Americans, man, we so addicted to just quick fixes, just quick money, overnight shit, and it better work out the gate. If it don't work perfectly out the gate, we got to get rid of it. It ain't fucking worth it. No such thing as trying to improve on something. No, we just gotta, no, fuck it. This is insane. This is why China's whooping our ass right now, bro. This is crazy. Like, look at this dude, W4D. I'm not even gonna read this shit because he's gonna pretend like he don't go around seeing these panels where motherfuckers be talking about repealing women's right to vote. Like, and you don't see this rising Christian national, like, bro, you got your head in the sand, bro. I ain't pulling your shit up anymore if you're just gonna be acting like this. Private snowball. No, I mean, I would vote for better health care. However, I also want stronger border, a ban on abortion because we are being ethnically replaced, and also isolation instead of being world police. Private snowball. I'm going to address all of these comments, or I'm going to address this in as good faith as possible. Stronger border. It's a lot easier to have a stronger border, Private Snowball, when our American-made weapons aren't being flooded across the border, which is help fueling all of the cartel violence that makes people want to flee to our country in the first place. So, right, we got to acknowledge our part in a big issue. I don't know if you've ever like crossed the border, Private Snowball, but I think even it's insanely easy to cross the border as opposed to coming in. And people with I think they call it straw gun purchases, or like a lot of the private sales and things like that, the private dealership sales, Private Snowball, it is a huge problem. So a lot of the border security or lack of border security, a lot of that crap, Private Snowball, is due to our own making. I'm not going to say all of it. Obviously, people got agencies and what they do, especially cartels. But a lot of that crap is fueled by us, man. And so we got to start there. A ban on, as far as your ban on abortion, absolutely not. I completely disagree. Abortion should be legal up to I think 20 weeks. I personally believe that life begins at consciousness. That's just my personal belief. That might be at like 22 to 23 weeks. I think the general idea is anywhere between 15 and 20. And so I'm cool with what the pro-abortion consensus is with as far as 15 to 20 weeks. A ban on abortion, absolutely not. We're completely disagreement. Again, I'm not in the business of telling my fellow Americans, consenting adults, what they can and can't do with their own body. As far as ethnically replaced, Snowball, first and foremost, I don't understand how. I'm guessing you're of maybe white American because you're worried about being, again, it comes from the great replacement theory. You guys are like 70% of the country. You guys got, I know, and Snowball, maybe you don't consider it, but a lot of these Hispanics also consider themselves white. A lot of white conservatives will consider white Hispanics white as well, right? So I don't think you're being ethnically replaced at all. And even if that was true, Private Snowball, why is your leadership bringing in 500,000 Chinese students? I mean, let's say we stay ethnically, but then I try to tell you, Private Snowball, well, hey man, look, at least the immigrants that's coming to our country, at least they're from Western countries, right? They're from Haiti, Venezuela, again, Central, South American, Caribbean islands, right? Mostly. That wasn't good enough, right? That was still, apparently, despite coming from Western countries, practicing Western religion, speaking Western languages, Private Snowball, you still felt like you was being replaced. Well, those people are getting kicked out. And instead, they're about to be replaced by 500 non-Western immigrants from across the hemisphere. And that decision, Private Snowball, was made by men who look just like you. So my question to you, Private Snowball, and I ask this in all good faith. If there are white people getting replaced, if there is an effort to replace white people, what is up with the majority of white people that the white men in charge of our companies, our government, look at you and go, white Americans are defective product we need to import from overseas? Right? Because again, let me repeat, the people trying to replace you look just like you. They don't look like me. I asked that again, guys. I asked that question in good faith. What is it about the modern white American that the old white Americans in charge are like, we need new product? Again, that's the message they sent, not me. Taz Magic, fuck Donald Trump. Absolutely. Shout out to you. Thanks for rocking with us. Lunatic with the $10. And thanks for supporting us tonight, bro. We both raised our hands, swore the oath to the Constitution. All laws not aligned are repugnant. Nothing matters but the one to your right and to your left, not race, color, creed, all American. I agree. I just really wish the rest of Americans would agree with us, bro. You know what I mean? Oh my God, here's a perfect example of me criticizing the Democrats. I talked about this last time. This was a colossal failure by the Obama administration. And I get what they was trying to do, because this is going back to what we was talking about with the gun sales and everything like that. They was trying to track the guns to the cartels, to the hideouts, so they can go raid them with Mexico and some of our other foreign allies and everything like that. And except that shit went to shit. You know what I mean? Except they lost. Lunatic, remind me, I think they lost track of every single fucking weapon, if I'm not mistaken, bro. It was just a colossal failure of a policy. Right? Like, again, guys, this is what I tell you guys sometimes. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right? Sometimes, guys, you try, and look, sometimes you try a policy, sometimes you gotta try shit out. Nothing else is working, right? This one right here, if you could run it back though, you ain't trying that out, because that was a failure. That was a huge failure. Let's see. Heath, we got 40 trillion in debt. 330 million people have to pay. South America's America. We import 100 million, and that bill gets a lot cheaper for us. My $2. Hey man, could you imagine if our statesmen, if our pro-capitalist people actually was pro-capitalist, Heath, pro-diplomacy, pro-growth, and we was cutting deals and making organizations, Canada, Mexico, Caribbean islands, bro, we would single-handedly make the EU fucking quit. And you know that, Heath. And everybody here knows that. Just Canada, Mexico, US alone, with an EU-style fucking partnership, would destroy the EU economically. It wouldn't be close. We would be once again the most dominant empire with the most dominant currency for the foreseeable future. And guys, it wouldn't be close. It wouldn't be close. But, you know, we can't have that sort of unity. You know, sorry, Heath. We're not allowed to have that. Private snowball. One is replacement level. Many nations, white populations are well below that number. Also, by the way, I've already pointed out since once again the Jews and Israelis, they want to replace my race. So I've understand it that yeah, is correct me if I'm wrong, Snowball. Is that the idea that the Israelis are the ones doing that? Was that more of like a revenge thing from like World War II, or is that the idea behind it? And then another thing, I get why you're concerned, but the problem is, Snowball, that looks like that's a trend that goes on regardless of ethnicity, man. Because here in America, all of our rates are going down. All of our birth rates are going down across all demographics because the more you have an educated population, right, the less amount of kids those families have, the later in life they tend to marry. And guess what? We've seen that in every Western country and private snowball. We're seeing that in non-Western countries too, like in Southeast Asia. You see what I don't know if you can, yeah, you look at Japan and South Korea specifically, bro, they birth rates are even worse than ours. They're in the 0 point something. You know what I mean? So I think a lot, and they're also trying to bring in immigrants because again, it's a lot of the times it has to do with, again, people are living longer, so it's good healthcare, right? People are getting educated, and on top of that, private snowball, ain't nobody replacing anything, or no white people, private snowball, no white people gonna have kids in this economy, bro. It's too expensive. Like, sorry, private snowball, man. Like, bro, ain't nobody gonna have no kids in here. For what? Why? W4D, what laws are being made against black people? Right now, you've seen the repeal of the voting acts, the voting rights acts in like Tennessee and Louisiana, man. You're talking about states that already W4D already had low black representation, and like Tennessee specific. Oh, okay, so like W4D, Tennessee specifically had one district that you could even claim was predominantly black, in like Memphis. They split that to now it's 3 different districts. So now people that you think would in generally have the same ideas, now they can't even share the same votes together. You get what I mean? They split it. It's bad, man. That's a very overly simplified version of what's going on, but it's a big problem, man. William Gray, shout out to you. Hey, Chinaman owns his wit. What? Run that back. Clarify for that, man. I might be big. I don't know. Snowball, absolutely 0 immigrants. We have lost the melting pot, which, by the way, was coined by a Jewish immigrant and have become a salad bowl of ethnic enclaves that cannot coexist with the U.S. Private snowball. We have been a melting pot since the first English arrived, right? Not Mayflower, not the Mayflower types. Remember, Jamestown was the first English colony. We was a melting pot when the Spanish arrived in the Americas. Private snowball, I just need you to understand, bro. Your idea of not having a melting pot or 0 immigrants, bro, you're in the wrong country for that, son. That's just never gonna happen. Bro, white people don't even want to be in a country full of just white people. Hell, bro, that's the truth. I mean, god damn. When you think about colonialism, especially with ours, the British ones, so they sponsor the most Independence Days around the world. Them motherfuckers didn't even want because they weren't even thinking like that to begin with. Private snowball, they weren't thinking about ethnic terms, or at least skin tone like that. But they didn't even want to be fucking just isolated. they was hell-bent on being a melting pot. And even if it was under a screwed up system, they had this vision of having everybody unified. You know what I mean? So it's like the people in your homeland didn't even want just straight isolationism, bro. Like, bro, that's, I think, unfortunately, Private, you're gonna have to come to terms that that's a minority position amongst the minority demographic in your demographic. You know what I mean? It's already probably not gonna happen, bro. You do know it's an official UN document, right, that talks about how we use import millions to replace the declining population that could easily be stopped, but no, our own government refused to do that. Okay, so Private, wifey, Private, I don't know how long you've been rocking, you've been, you know me, so my wife is from Germany, and again, that doesn't make me an I want to be clear, that doesn't make me an expert in German history or politics or none of that shit. It's just an example that it's one of those things that I can naturally go down that rabbit hole with my limited experience, right? And so one of the things was Angela Merkel, the former leader of Germany, right? There was the big thing, you remember in 2013 when they had a lot of those Syrian refugees coming in and a lot of North African refugees. And even though it was initially causing a lot of problems, they still kept bringing them in. And that was because of the that was because of the declining population. Private Snowball, I had both of my daughters in Germany. My wife and I had both our daughters in Germany in 2008 and in 2010. And they was offering what's called, they still do, they offer what's called Kindergeld, right? Which is like a monthly stipend for people with young kids to help with things like food and education supplies and things like that. And Germany has had that program for Germany for decades, bro. And it still hasn't stopped the population decline. All right. We got to understand those things, man. Like, you can't force people to fuck. I don't know how else to put that, Private. You can't force people to fuck. And so you're either going to then have to adopt the idea, which I think here in America, as crazy as our culture and our identity is as Americans, we have proven that clearly the idea of a nation and a culture transcends color, ethnicity. Because Private Snowball, if you go to Germany today, bro, you ain't never heard this many brown and black people speaking German in your life, dog. They drinking beer on Oktoberfest with the best of them. Yes, there has still been problems. I want to be clear. But I think even you know, Private Snowball, when the Western Europeans are whining about their crime rate compared to American crime rate, it's a fucking joke. And their crime rates have gone down. It's settled out almost as if they've successfully started assimilating people. Not saying it's perfect by any means, but clearly the idea of culture transcends just straight at your bloodline. You get what I mean? Lunatic libertarian, yeah, the world has always bred with each other. Absolutely, man. Like, guys, if y'all ever like anthropology or anything like that, if y'all look at like the migration patterns of humans, guys, we don't stay one spot, man. Like guys, we always talk about, especially as men, oh, we're explorers. We want to explore the cosmos. We want to explore our surroundings. And then get surprised when we start finding out we was doing a lot of different exploring. Right? Exploration comes in a lot of different ways. Right? You know, guess what? Somebody found them, you know, a Polynesian baddie and decided to post up. Somebody found them a Kenyan baddie or a Mayan tribal girl or something like that. And hey, that's what it is. Obviously, there's a lot of terrible ways it went too, but the point is we have always moved around and culturally banged each other. That's just the reality, guys. Heath, You want to increase the birth rate, cheap housing, cheap food, and cheap healthcare. Yes. So I want to, Heath, man, I'm so glad you're rocking with me. By the way, I'm gonna drop the link again if anybody wants to chop it up. Heath, there is again, not every country, you don't want to take everything, but certain countries got this shit figured out already, like Austria, right? Austria has this, the video is kind of long, so I'm not gonna pull that up. But Austria, Heath, they have this housing style like program where they have like obviously a lot of the affordable apartment complexes all over the place, and you ain't gotta pay. Right? You still gotta pay for like, electric and stuff like that. But even wealthy people, Heath, live in those apartment buildings. So that you're not forced to have to get rent unless you want to. Like it's optional and shit like that. And yes, man, like I don't want to say like military barrack style, but definitely you can do dorm room style cheap housing all over the place in this country. And it would oh my, like it would absolutely help so much. We should obviously, Heath, this is not a new idea, but it's just the fact that, Heath, we've known these things for years and these solutions have been around, right? Like you can easily build a whole bunch of, make sure they're not projects, but you build up a lot of affordable housing, definitely something better than commie blocks like they had in Russia and everything. But you build up a lot of affordable housing, and then even if we're still charging rent, guess what? Now people got uh credit score, right? They got rent, they got utilities coming in that they're paying. It's cheap, so they're making the things on time. They can actually start building some. There's equity. There's so many different reasons why affordable housing would fix. Again, not everything, but it would help kickstart the process of fixing a lot of shit in our country. Absolutely, David. Shout out to you. Let's talk about the gas prices. Can you tell me why they're too hot? Yeah, man, the Strait of Hormuz, bro. There's a lot of wait, hold up, man. What is the current barrel prices? Current oil. Yeah, so right now it is sitting tonight at 97.7 a barrel. And that's because we still got problems with the Strait of Hormuz, big dog. You know what I mean? We still got this ceasefire that's not really a ceasefire, a war that's an excursion. Bro, I don't know, man. And David, you got to realize too, it's summertime, David. The gas stations always raise their prices in the summertime because everybody's traveling. So now on top of the inflation we was getting from the war, we're going to be getting inflation from normal summertime travel. So unfortunately, man, it's probably is going to go, it's going to keep going up. Private Snowball. Okay, guess what? Guess what? I'm talking about the native population of Europe, and it's also, as he pointed out, it's very easy to stop this decline if we stop trying to fight damn wars everywhere we go. Snowball. Yeah, I agree. Snowball. You know how, and that's why I was mentioning Snowball. You know how you get immigrants to at least stop wanting to come to the country in desperate situations? You stop destabilizing their countries. Private Snowball, Europe had all those problems in the first place because America was destabilizing all these countries. Well, they had to flee somewhere. And so, yeah, man, a lot of that comes with the fact that we are a war, as Americans, we are a warrior race to a fault, bro. And all we know is warfare, and unfortunately that means all we know is how to destabilize. Snowball, sometimes I'm starting to wonder, geopolitically speaking, if we actually know how to stabilize instead of destabilize. Like I legit wonder, man, because you know, the more I learn about our country, like all the destabilizing we've done in Central American countries and everything, like we literally, like we were supposed to be about democracy and we destabilized democratic countries and turned them into communists anyway. Like bro, we are fucked. Our government has done some fucked up shit. Sylvia Goodman, shout out to you. Yes, you have to pay rent in Australia. 40% of the population rent their homes unless you are on special programs required to be paid monthly. Right. So they got the thing, and a lot of people stay there. Sylvia, it's true, right? A lot now. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's still like some wealthy people that still stay in those apartments, right? Because they're still, again, that cheap. And so that's a great system to have. Like, guys, you know, we should look at the system like that. Snowball, border, not just lines drawn by some dude. They are cultural boundaries where one culture ends and another begins. Why do you think there's so many civil wars? Because Europe wrote a bad map. I agree, but that's again Snowball. That's the problem, right? Like I need you to understand again culturally, like talking to you from again a good faith here. It was people like you, people who look like you, who draw the fucking borders, right? So it's like a lot of the things that are legitimate concerns to you, dog. Your biggest ops are people that look like you, because they're the ones causing all the problems, right? Like the borders, the way they're drawn in Africa and the Middle East. That's not how the maps used to look, or that's not how the maps would look if that was up to them. Europeans are the ones who tried to force this nationalism idea on these people, and right, and so it's like it gets to the point where it's like, well, we want other people to mind their own business, but it's like Western society is incapable of minding our own business. We got to have a gut check about the shit we say versus the things we do, Private Snowball. That's just straight up, dog. Straight up. In America, the capitalists will oppose it. That takes away a ton of investor welfare from middle bricks in the pyramids. Yep. Straight up. And in the old times, the system was called a beast. Yeah. Guys, y'all, ooh. What time is it, man? Oh shit. You need to get up out of here. Yo, we was doing it, man. Hey, great energy up in the chat today. We got over a lot. Hey, thanks guys, keeping me motivated up in the chat, keeping me engaged, man. It was really cool. To the people that align themselves with me, I know it's tough, but we just got to keep going because, look, man, we ain't got a choice. To the independents, to conservatives out there, to the right wingers, look, man, at some point, you're going to have to compromise and ask yourself, do you actually want a country based on what we claim to be, or do you want a country based on ideologies that are inherently anti-American? Some of you guys, and again, I'm not gonna pick on you, but just because we had the conversation today, Private Snowball, bro, I don't have a problem sharing a country with you. But why should I? Why would I? You know what I mean? I don't think you got a problem, or I hope you don't have a problem sharing a country with me. But then, why should you? You know, and so guys, we got to understand that you don't have to support how people move on a day-to-day basis, right? Like I get it. Some of these social issues or some of these things that you see that Americans are engaged in bothers you. Sometimes it bothers you a little bit too much. You might think, yo, this is not what I want my country to be, but then these people are using their free will legally. Isn't that exactly the kind of country we wanted this to be? People who can express themselves and not be worried about being bullied from the public, like we say a lot of countries in the Middle East do, or a lot of non-Western countries, right? You can't be yourself. You'll get killed for doing something overseas like that. Exercising our rights as an American shouldn't be frowned upon if we actually believe in the things we say. That also goes into who we vote for and what we vote for. If we're going to be countrymen, if we're going to be a nation of people, if we're going to try to build a homogenous society, first and foremost, we have to agree on on our history, what this country is and isn't, the good, the bad, the ugly. We have to have a shared education. That's how you have an homogenous culture, guys. Shared education. Right now, too many schools, district to district, never mind city to city, state to state, are learning too many different things. And so we have too many Americans not even on the same page with one another. Right? So I need y'all to understand, man, a lot of the things you might see might bother guys. There's things I see that bothers me too, but you know what? I keep it moving because I just don't tell people to mind their own business. I actually practice what I preach and I mind my own business because at the end of the day, them exercising their free will has not violated my rights in any way, shape, or form. But me and that person still got to drive on the same roads, same highways, and on the same bridges like everybody else does. You know what I mean? Shout out to Heath with the $10. Thanks for supporting the channel, bro. Shout out to Heath. Shout out to Lunatic. You guys was good energy supporting the channel tonight. Really appreciate that. Guys, Sylvia, Switzerland, when you have a baby, you're off of work for 6 months with pay, and the father better be right there helping the mother. That's how it should be here. Absolutely. Because fathers matter. Guys, you cannot be a great father and raise your family if you're never at the fucking house. If your work is constantly keeping you at work, you're not actually being there present for the family that all wants you there. Remember, we wanted our family. We got down on one knee and asked our hand in marriage for this woman. And we asked for children because we wanted to have that legacy and build that up, not just have it sitting on the sidelines while we pour all of our energy into our corporate slave masters. That's not masculinity. And that's not what real fatherhood is about, guys. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but hey, guys, shout out to all of you. Shout out to you, Sylvia. Shout out to you, Frag. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.